In order to thrive in this dynamically changing world that's changing so rapidly, we can't even predict it. We don't even have the names for the jobs that are going to be available. How do you prepare a young person or any person for that world? Well, it's going to take genuine creativity and building complex relationships with human beings. Genuine creativity, innovation, adaptability, and building complex relationships with people. Those are the most marketable skills these days. LinkedIn did a study in 19 and 20, the #1 most desired workforce skill across every sector, every industry was creativity. Think about some of your most meaningful learning experiences. It might have been Girl Scouts. It might have been summers at grandma's house where you got to build that thing that nobody knew you were building because nobody watched this back in the day, right? We would sneak off the sheds, find hammers, nails, and just build some stuff. Might have been that drone cam, might have been Odyssey of the Mind. Any OMers? Throwback. It's called Destination Imagination today, but I know it by its government name, Odyssey of the Mind. We were always building those skills, but nobody ever told us.
Agency is a really important theme. Interestingly, here for us, we highlight that through the context of neuroplasticity.
Yes,
you know, when people understand how their brain works and how they're driving it, that is so powerful. So I'm curious, how does agency fit into what y'all are doing?
And it fits across the entire age spectrum. It's actually one of the most critical elements of our work. The thought that they are the ones in charge. So what we need to be giving them is equipment, not injection of knowledge, right? They'll get the knowledge, give them the tools. That's the most important part if you want to spur agency. When you start to see large chunks of like demographic folks not performing well over and over again, whether it's Dallas, Cleveland, Seattle, Chicago, doesn't matter, it means that there's a systemic issue. And the systemic issue runs deep. We can line it up by race. We can line it up by socioeconomic status. You see it also in our rural communities. These deficits, they're predictable, which means that there's a systemic problem, which means we have to look at systemic solutions. And the solutions are about creating the opportunities that increase the likelihood that young people would be able to maximize their own lives. That's opportunity. Because if we don't create opportunity, then we don't have real hope. The belief that tomorrow can be better than today and my acting upon it makes it so, that is hope. If you build from the margins, you actually end up with a stronger whole. That means you have a better system. Case in point, and then I'll shut up. Anybody ever heard of the curb cut effect? Okay, curb cut effect. Curb cut's basically ramps, right? Ramps that allow you to take the sidewalk. We didn't used to have those everywhere. The ADA, right, Americans with Disabilities Act, which I was stunned to learn was from the 90s. Exactly, except in some states. The federal ADA, 90s, right? I'm older than that. Well, we didn't have curb cuts, but we created curb cuts because people who were wheelchair bound needed to be getting, to and fro. That's only fair, right? But guess who else takes curb cuts? Moms with strollers, skateboarders. Anybody ever had to move a refrigerator? Yeah, I'm gonna need that curb cut. It's amazing how much society has benefited because they were thinking about the most marginalized.
Important. One of the things that surprised us is we've studied the brain and brain health and how all these factors support our overall brain health. We've been kind of surprised by some of the things we're learning as people enhance and find these supports for their brain health over time. One of the things we discovered was the value of compassion.
You have to bring human skills into the STEM space. Knowing that we should do something is very different from knowing how we do it. One of the dangers of AI is because we have a lot of people coding, designing, who don't understand people and aren't thinking about ancillary risks that come when you don't do this one thing and put a good control on it. So bringing the civic element into the STEM and STEAM space is also critically important. Otherwise, the robots will end us all. So.
Well, this has been incredible. I know
That's the final word?
Yeah.
The robots will end us all. Remember that.